We've got the new air deck, which is 20 kilos lighter, so we're going to put that in now and it should be excellent. What is a better boat, an airfloor boat or an aluminium deck boat? I'm no stranger to both. I've had two of each now, and today I've put an airfloor in my Carbon Pro 365. This is not a sponsored video. I bought this with my own money. Is it any faster? Does it handle any better? Does it change any of the characteristics? Another beautiful evening here on the island, and a question I've often wondered myself, and you guys comment a lot about this. With these sibs, these soft hull inflatable boats, what is the best floor? Aluminium deck floor or air deck floor? What are the differences? This particular boat here, the Carbon Pro 365, you could only get an aluminium floor, but I have purchased with my own money the air deck floor for this. It was £225. First things first, we'll do a speed test and then I'll talk you guys through the setup. These are similar conditions to when I did the speed test with the aluminium floor. 20 horsepower engine. Right, full disclosure, last time I did a speed test, fuck valve came well out, so we'll see how this goes. 20.8 knots out of this with the aluminium floor, but now with the air floor, similar conditions. Try not to wheelie it. Let's go. All right, 5 knots. Okay, whoa, she's bouncing around, boy. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, 17 knots, 19 knots, 20.3, 20.9, 21, 21.1. All right, 21.1. Oh shit, it's already faster than this boat's ever gone. It's not much faster than the with the aluminium floor. So I think weight is almost your friend in these boats. 21.1. All right, so that surprised me. I thought the air deck would be well faster. The aluminium deck did 20.8 knots in similar conditions, and this did 21.1. So I'm quite surprised at that, because the air deck 380 that I had, the white boat, that did 17 or 18 knots with a 9.8 horsepower engine. And as I mentioned, this is a 20 horsepower 2024 Tohatsu 4-stroke fuel injected. If speed's what you're after, the floor appears to not make much difference. Well, we've established it doesn't make much difference to the top speed. However, the ride is much more comfortable being sat down here. If you're one of those people that sits down here, you can really feel the sort of shock absorption of the air floor. However, I just don't think the air floor is as capable if you get a bit of a chop on. Just the way the boat lifts, you could have a tiller handle extension, which would probably put me out here, and that'd be a lot easier. And also, I'm sure there's probably a reason for this, but the fuel tank strap is right at the back. Must be to do with the rigidity of the floor, but I prefer my fuel tanks to be up here, just purely for ease of planing. Sorry, the Boat World website did say 12 psi, but that is a maximum. You want to put about 8 psi in this floor, which is, you know, around about 0.6 bar. Installing the floor was relatively easy. I just basically dropped the air on the sides just a touch, remove the aluminium floor. This floor here came just rolled up really with bubble wrap, and I just unrolled it, partially pumped it up, and then I wedged her in, dropped the keel pressure, so dropped the underfloor there, pushed it in, lined it up, and then inflated it. Inflated it about 3/4, then I inflated the tubes, and then I fully topped it up, and then I inflated the keel. You can see some side-by-side shots of the floors look like, and obviously underneath the boat was minging. I think aluminium floors are perfect for those who want to go out in a bit more choppy conditions or fishing. Obviously with fishing hooks. This looks like pretty roughy, tufty material. If you're into fishing, you get a hook in there. You know, obviously that's one of the limitations of the air floors, but it's a lot lighter to move around. This thing's a doddle to roll down the slip. And you know, if you've got quite a steep slip or you're not as able-bodied, then an air deck is really easy. Oh, just look at that. Spoiled tonight. So yeah, first impressions of the airfloor, I really like it. The Cat Sport 330, which I've got, which is the catamaran, really lifts in the wind, so I wouldn't take that out in conditions I'd take this out in, but I don't think I'd take this out in conditions that I take the Carbon Pro 400 in with the aluminium floor. It just feels a little bit more stable. It probably isn't any more stable. They're still Cat C rated boats up to 2 meter waves with or without the floors. Let me know what you think down in the comments. A lot more skittish because it obviously weighs less, so it's bouncing around a little bit in the water, but once it planes, it's perfect. And you can turn these things on a dime, so I don't really think the air floor is any detriment to how it handles. I think moving the fuel tank up, and as I often do with the camping stuff, I'll have a lot more weight in this boat. It'll be better. If anything though, it is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. One other thing to consider is when you initially hit the power, probably because the way it's just me at the back of the boat with the fuel tank, there's no weight at the front. I don't even have an anchor tonight. The boat wants to wheelie, essentially. I've had this on several boats in the past. As soon as it grips and gets on the plane, the boat just drops down. But if you're out on a windy day and you try and give it too much of a handful into the wind, there's every chance the boat's gonna look like this, and it will scare the shit out of you. I'm on the phone here because I left my camera in my boat. This is a Homwave T40 with a 20 horsepower Mercury. I'll do a speed test. What was that, 20.8 knots on this thing? This is an aluminium deck floor. Fishing rods, much more solid, and aluminium deck floors are much better for standing on, way more stable. I nearly went in. So another observation I would say, if you're one of those people who wants to stand up and fish, this is not as stable a platform. You can really feel it move. And I've got this almost at like maximum floor pressure as well. But yeah, first impressions, I like it. Yeah. This was so light pulling down the slip. Another thing to show you, Macca's got one of these. It's a little like fuel transfer pump, I think. Stick it in there. It'd be better with the hang on. Put the on switch on. There you go. You don't want to pull your plums out. That's quality. That's great bait kit. Saves lifting your boat up to pump it out anyway. Another look at the floor just before I end the video. Air deck for the 365. There's the Carbon Pro 400. Just have a look there, you can see the contrast. Aluminium deck. And there's the air deck. Big fan. Good fun. You'll see a lot more.